Hey, everybody, good morning. It is so good to see you. Good morning, wherever you are, wherever you're joining us from. Welcome to KCC Online Campus. We are just getting ready for our time of devotion and prayer this morning. And as you can see, if you're a regular part of this, I am not in my home. I am here in our living room. Secret for those of you who couldn't tell, Sunday, it's not actually a living room. This is just in our gym. that big set back there, yeah, that's a electric fireplace. But that big thing behind it, that's just a sheet hanging there. But boy, it looks good on camera when it's zoomed in, doesn't it? So anyway, as we're getting set up and people are logging on, let me just tell you a little bit about what we're doing. So if you've been joining us for the last few months, you know that during this pandemic time, we have been having a time of prayer and devotion 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And we've been reading through an old devotional book called My Utmost for His Highest. It's been a wonderful book to read through together. It's an old book, but a classic piece of Christian literature. But for Advent this year, for Christmas this year, I wanted to change it up just a little bit. I wanted to do something kind of special because I know that this Christmas season, for a lot of us, like we talked about Sunday, if you were here with us at KCC, it's a confusing Christmas for a lot of us. We are confused and disturbed, just like Mary was on that first Christmas. So I wanted to take a little bit of time over the next several days, over the next several weeks together, to bring to you a special series of devotionals centered around Advent specifically. And so I've chosen a different book. Big surprise, like, hey, get ready for a change, okay? I know sometimes people don't like change. We are moving on from My Utmost for His Highest, and I'm going to be reading from a devotional book called Come, Let Us Adore Him. It's by a wonderful Christian pastor and author named Paul David Tripp, and this book is relatively recent, but it is a wonderful devotional to read through during Advent time and during the Christmas season, and there's actually a devotional reading every day. So what we're going to be doing is, rather than Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 9 a.m., starting today, December the 1st, we are going to be having daily Advent devotionals right here on Facebook Live and on YouTube for you. So we are so glad to be able to do that, and I hope that every day, whether it is live at 9 a.m. or if you're joining us later, you're not able to watch at 9 a.m., but you'll watch it that evening or you'll watch it on your lunch break at work. However you join us, I hope that it'll be a blessing to you. I hope that it'll be beneficial to you, and I hope that if it is, you will share these videos on your social media channels so that we can invite others to join us this Advent season in remembering what it's really about. Pandemic or no pandemic, it's always about Jesus. So here is today's reading from O Come, Let Us Adore Him by Paul David Tripp, simply titled, there are no titles actually, it is for December the 1st. The angels sang, because the everlasting Father had come to extend arms of redeeming grace to all who would give their hearts to Him. It is a wonderful, mysterious, hard to grasp, and beyond the scope of our normal reasoning story. But when you get it, when you come to fully understand the purpose and implications of this story, you will sing too. This story's amazing plot wasn't written when Mary got pregnant or when prophets began foretelling it or when God announced it after the disastrous rebellion of Adam and Eve. This story is so miraculous in every way that it could have only come out of the mind of God in eternity itself before the foundations of the earth were laid down by His mighty hand. It points to the divine imagination and screams the power of the divine hand. No man could write this plot, and if he did, no man could expedite what he had written. This story is itself an argument for the existence of God and a portrait of His holy character. The beautiful world that God had created was now broken and groaning, the direct result of the rebellion of the ones God had made in His own image and had placed His guiding and providing love upon. The evidence of its brokenness was everywhere, from the inner recesses of the hearts of the people to violence and corruption of government to the existence of plagues and diseases. Sure, there was beauty still to be seen, but the whole world groaned under the weight of its brokenness. It would have been just for God to stay his distance, to let the world quake and groan. It would have been a just response to the arrogant rebellion that brought this brokenness to the world. But in one of the most gorgeous mysteries of God's sovereign grace, he looked on his broken, rebellious world with eyes of mercy. Yes, God would act decisively, and his actions would be what he had planned in the beginning, but they would be a stunning surprise to mere mortals. His response would not be one of condemnation or judgment. His response would not be a meting out of justice. Rather, his response would be intervention and rescue. He would do in grace what the law could never do. He would do in grace what we could never do for ourselves. He would do what philosophers could never conceive, what leaders could never strategize, what poets could never even imagine. He would offer the only thing that would ever address the need and solve the problem. He himself would become the greatest, most costly, most transformational gift ever. God would take on human flesh and invade his sin-broken world with his wisdom, power, glory, and grace. But he wouldn't descend to a palace. No, instead, the almighty, sovereign creator, the king of all things, would humble himself and take on the form of a servant. He would live on our behalf the life that we could never live, and he would willingly die the death that you and I deserve. And he would rise from the tomb as the conqueror of sin and death. He would suffer every single day of his life so that he could, with his life, give grace to rebels, love to those who would deny his existence, impart wisdom to those who think they know better, and extend forgiveness to everyone who seeks him. His coming stands as an affirmation that he will not relent. He will not be satisfied until sin and suffering are no more, and we are like him, dwelling with him in unity, peace, and harmony forever and ever. It's true, you can't just write this stuff. The majesty of the patient and forgiving love of this story defies words. The implications of this birth are not only transformational to the cosmos, but also eternal in their extent. This is the story of Jesus, born in a barn in Bethlehem. The Messiah the earth cried for now cries to be held by Mary, and will soon cry in torment on the cross of salvation. He came to suffer because he came to save. The angels sang on that first Christmas Eve because finally hope had come. Don't you want to join them? Well, I hope that has blessed you this morning, and I hope that you will have a wonderful day as we begin this Advent season together. Again, a reminder, if you're just joining us, this is something that we will be doing every day leading up to Christmas and a little bit beyond. We're going to be reading a special Advent devotional together right here on Facebook Live and on YouTube, so we hope that you'll join us each morning at 9 a.m. And if you're not able to join us live on our Facebook premiere page, then we hope that you'll watch it later and be blessed. And as always, if it has been a blessing to you, if it's been helpful, we hope that you'll share this video with your friends so that we can invite others into the beauty of Christmas this year, even as we celebrate at KCC Christmas at home. So may you have a blessed day, and from our living room to yours, Merry Christmas.